Welcome
Welcome
back.
back to another episode,
Welcome back to
episode
Pissing in the
17.
Wind.
Howdy,
Yep.
partners.
We got Jennifer Lopez here with us again today.
Yeah, thank you for coming back, Hennifer. She had a small hiatus, but she's back now.
Yep.
So I'm
Uh,
I'm drinking on a the Stone Delicious IPA. I don't know if you guys can
nice.
see that. Yeah,
Some good ones. I got a Sierra Nevada Hazy IPA.
nice, nice.
That's it.
I have a
Jennifer, you
water
drinking?
and a Yeti.
A water and a Yeti.
Cheers.
Classic. I got a couple on this days. First off, 1949, the NBA was formed, but it was kind of a merger between the National Basketball League and the Basketball Association of America. So, but they merged together and created the NBA today, 1949.
Happy birthday,
Uh,
NBA.
yeah. Also, today in 1921, the Chicago White Sox got acquitted on insufficient evidence when they were banned from playing baseball for life because of bribes to lose the World Series. Turns out a bunch of evidence went missing, and they can't find that either. So,
It was probably such a simpler time to be alive back then. You're just like,
yeah, it's just
yeah,
like,
I'll take a $50 bribe to lose the World Series.
yeah, why not?
Why not? I
Then
bet
what
against
you,
ourselves
you get in
already.
trouble, you're like, you get in trouble, you go to some kid like, hey kid, I'll give you a quarter. You're gonna go into the judge office, you're gonna take everything that says my name on it.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Like,
That's when he just
okay.
walks right in. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guy. Chicago White Sox player.
Yeah, there's zero security.
Yeah, because that's how
They
it
just
was.
don't care.
That's how it was back then. Well, I want to shout out a couple of happy birthdays.
Yeah.
On this day in 1977, Tom Brady. Happy birthday, Tom Brady, one of the best quarterbacks to ever do it.
Hmm.
Deflategate wasn't necessarily his fault. He wasn't deflating the footballs. We haven't really gotten sufficient evidence for that.
Yeah,
And
someone stole
then,
it from the judge's office.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Kind of the same thing.
Yeah. And then the number one fucking goat of all time, Martha Stewart. Happy birthday, Martha Stewart,
Yeah.
1941, the real fucking OG of us all. Happy birthday, Martha Stewart.
On this day, August 3rd, 1914, Germany declared war on France, which was the start of World War One.
No.
There we go. Bring it down. Bring it down a notch. The start of World War One on this
Um,
day.
Literally right before we started recording, were you here, Hennifer? Because we talked about doing that one, and I said, I think that's the start of World War One, and then looked it
Yeah.
up and was like, nope, not even close.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they just declared war on France that day.
Yeah, it was
Well,
just a part of it.
there was a secret society called the Black Hand, which was a secret Serbian society of the early 20th century that used terrorist methods to promote the liberation of the Serbs outside Serbia from Habsburg or the Ottoman rule. And it was instrumental in planning the assassination of the Austrian Archduke Franz Ferdinand.
And
Which,
that
That's what
started
started
World War
World War
One.
One. Yeah, and that happened on this day, or that's just a fun
Yeah, what is
fact.
that? Is this a factoid?
yeah, just a fact about it. But
Oh,
they
okay. All
declared
right.
war today,
Yeah, it
August
just
3rd,
something kind of in the
1914.
same world.
Okay. Yeah. This is in the same realm.
Yeah. On this day, let's talk about something else that's kind of similar.
Okay. Okay. Good job.
Uh,
Thank you, Hennifer. Thank you for that.
yeah. You know what? At
So
least you had a good one.
yeah,
Would have been
yeah.
cool if you did the one about Christopher Columbus, but that doesn't matter.
If anybody wanted to know, on this day in history, 1492, Christopher Columbus began to sail the ocean blue.
Yeah.
Boo.
We don't like
I'm not
Christopher.
saying we love him. I'm just saying it happened.
Yeah, it happened. It
God.
happened. Speaking of things that happened, not necessarily on this day, did you hear, Dominic, that alchemy is officially real?
Alchemy is officially real.
Alchemy is officially real.
We do it in Skyrim.
No, it's
Uh,
real in real life.
that's how much. That's as much as I know about it. Is
So
Skyrim.
I'm not exactly sure who I thought it was CERN, but I think I might be wrong, like with their Hadron Collider. But look
Hmm.
it up, Hennifer, if you can. A certain group of scientists turned mercury into gold recently, like within the last
I
like
did
month or
see
so.
this. Yes, I did
You
see
know
that.
what scientists like where they're coming
No,
from?
that's what you're here
Just
for.
yeah, just you're the producer.
Google
You
scientists
look
turn
up
mercury to
Mercury to
gold.
gold.
So this is report is from thephysics.org. Marathon Fusion claims it can turn mercury into gold while creating clean energy. July 28th. I believe it's 28th.
So real recently, like within the
Yeah,
last
like
week.
last week. Yep. Which July 28th, on that day, that's when World War One started.
All
We're
right,
bringing it
so
back.
from this article, it's stating that the startup energy company called Marathon Fusion may soon be living out the dream of alchemists for the Middle Ages. In a recently released paper posted, the company outlines a method to turn an isotope of mercury, the most stable form, into the most stable form of gold. They say this can be done while also creating an abundance of clean energy via nuclear fusion in a tokamak reactor. Maybe even more impressive is the amount of gold. They say this process will create 2 metric tons of gold per gigawatt
Holy shit.
of thermal
Jeez.
power per year. But again, it's just their paper that they
How are
printed
they
out.
doing it? They're shooting molecules off the mercury. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Mercury is like one molecule or whatever away from gold, and so they're
Yeah, it's got to be something right
shooting it
there.
off, and it turns into gold. It's like gotta be an instant thing. Imagine you have a pool of mercury or whatever, and then you find out a way to take out that like single isotope or whatever the fuck keeps it from being
Right.
gold, and then instantly your pool of mercury just solidifies and turns to fucking solid gold.
Dang. And then someone tries to jump in.
I wonder what the mass difference between mercury and gold is. Like, would you gain or lose mass on it? Probably lose mass.
Yeah, I think so.
It
Because I
says
think
it
gold is
makes
pretty
more
light.
of it. So
Makes more
they say this process creates 2 metric tons of gold per gigawatt
out of how
of
much
thermal
mercury is
Yeah,
there?
power.
but that's per gigawatt. That's
Doesn't
power.
say.
Yeah, that's
Yeah. So
Like,
yeah, that's the good question of how much mercury are they putting in to get 4,000 pounds of gold?
yeah.
so
That's
it
crazy.
looks like the process is called chrysopia, which is Chrysopoeia. The process of transmuting base metals like mercury into gold
It's called alchemy.
has been
Yeah.
demonstrated at small scales using particle accelerators and neutron capture in the
So
past.
I was right.
But no, this was the past though. That's not
I
what
was
we're picking
partially
now.
correct.
Yeah. It sounds like I'm pretty sure they use that in like Star Wars and stuff.
The
Particle
method
accelerators.
The method involves
Incorporating.
mercury in the reactor's breeding blanket, a layer surrounding the plasma chamber, which is usually made from lithium. This new mercury lithium alloy blanket is designed to maximize reactions, which absorb 1 neutron and release 2. The result is optimized tritium fuel production and gold production.
So they're
So
making some type of
wait, they're
fuel,
creating energy and they're making
and the
gold at the
byproduct
same
just
time?
happens to be gold.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
That's crazy. What are they
Those
using the
guys are
energy
gonna
for?
have
What's the fuel
anything.
used for? Does it say?
Clean energy.
Oh, so it's like nuclear fission or whatever.
Yeah,
I
but
said
I
that in
mean,
the
they're
beginning.
also saying that 4,000 pounds of gold is giving them 1 gigawatt, so it's not like a ton of
How much of a
energy.
gig? How much is a gigawatt worth of power?
A 1 gigawatt?
Oh, it's 1,000 watts, right? Or no, 1,000,000 watts. What's a giga?
No,
But yeah, it's abundance of clean energy via nuclear fusion.
um,
That's
how many
cool. So
watts is a
clean energy.
gigawatt? A billion.
1,000,000,000 watts.
1 billion watts.
Well, how much is it? Can 1,000,000,000 watts power?
Oh, I'm like, look at your light bulbs are what, like 10?
Okay, so then 1,000,000,000,000,000,000 light bulbs. Like, can 1,000,000,000 watts power my city?
I'm sure.
Dang,
Let's
what's
see.
cra-
A gigawatt is a unit of power equal to a billion watts. It's a large amount of power, often used to describe the output of power plants. 1 gigawatt solar farm can power approximately 750,000 homes.
Wow. Holy shit. And how much energy is going into it? Like, are they losing a lot of energy or they're producing more than they're putting in?
No, it's that I
I
think
mean,
that's the whole
Hennifer.
point is that they're producing clean energy.
Yeah.
I would assume they'd be producing more if they're trying
That's
to create clean
fucking
energy.
cool, dude. Right?
It is,
And they're
but
getting gold out of it.
And yeah, you get gold out of it.
These guys are pulling up in like a all gold 2008 Honda
And
Civic.
gold, they say that gold is like crucial to space exploration because it helps you to build really small electronics that are like extremely conductive.
Yeah, it's the most conductive metal.
Yeah.
so it looks like that small amounts of radioactive isotopes are created in the process as well, re requiring a cooling time before the end product can be released to the public. So the gold, but a conservative rule is that the radioactivity must be less than that of a banana, and for this particular gold product, that comes out to a cooling time of about 17.7 years. So I have to like
Holy
let it
shit.
chill out before you can
So
even
over
touch
the
the
course,
gold.
they pump it full of radiation, and over the
Yeah.
course of 17 years, it loses two isotopes, and then what gains another one, and then becomes gold.
No, no, you're completely confused. What I'm saying is
Completely.
when they create the mercury or when they use the mercury to create the clean energy, a byproduct is
Gold.
gold and
Yeah.
radioactive isotopes. And those isotopes attach to the gold, and you need a cooling time from touching the gold, like that anyone could touch the gold, so it has to be in a safe locked place for
Yeah.
17.7 years before you can
Radioactivity like all dissipates
releases.
off of it.
And it's
Okay,
safe
I
But
get
for
it.
if
you
it's
and me to
also
So if there's
touch it.
if
radioactive
it's supposed
gold
to be
that comes
less
out.
radioactive than a banana, then like why are we eating bananas?
No, I think she's saying at the end, after the 17 years, it's as radioactive as a banana.
Oh,
No,
okay.
it's not as a banana. It's the radioactivity is as large as the size of a banana.
Oh, size,
Oh,
not
it's like a
The
chunk of
size.
radioactivity.
Those
yeah. I was like, fuck,
radioactive
dude.
isotopes, the size of a banana.
Okay.
I better
You have
stop
to
eating
think
bananas.
that's almost like attached to
Yeah.
the gold.
Yeah.
So if you touch it, you're getting that
Yeah, it's like inside the molecules of
radioactive.
gold. But still, though, that's fucking super cool.
That
All
is
it
cool.
takes
I
is
mean,
17 years, you
17
have tons of
years for
gold.
750,000 homes.
Yeah, I know, right?
That's
And
not
then
that
and
bad.
also after at the end, you have tons and tons of pure gold that's left over.
Yeah, you
So,
have 4,000 pounds of gold.
yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's really cool. What did you say the company was, Hennifer?
The company is Marathon Fusion.
Marathon Fusion. Hopefully
Where
we'll
are they
start
based
living in
out
the
of?
world of like when you watch like cartoons or like play Fallout and it's like 50s-esque like nuclear
Yeah.
machines, that like fly like hovering cars and like little robots and shit that help you out.
Yeah. And canned water.
Yeah, canned water, dude. Hell yeah.
That's what we got to get back
Yeah.
to.
Yeah, that's cool. So alchemy's real. So fucking RIP to all of those like wizards and shit back in the day who were dead set on turning their mercury into gold, and it made them go crazy. You were
Yeah.
on the right path. You just needed a hadron collider or whatever, particle collider. So
You needed nuclear fusion in a tokamak reactor.
maybe next time you try, look for some nuclear fusion in a tokamak reactor. And then you got it.
They were on the pathway to the process of creating metals into gold called chrysopia. That's the process. That's the name of the process.
So maybe in 15, 20 years, we'll have nuclear ran cities. So that way we don't have to worry about like wasting electricity. And also we'll be traveling space because we have infinite energy.
Yeah.
And
That would be
cleaner.
pretty sweet.
And it would be cleaner. Yeah. How come nuclear energy became like this weird stigma around it where it's like not a good way to get energy, even though it seems like the best
I
way
think
to get
because it's
energy?
the amount of power and the amount of radiation that it makes.
And it's unstable. It's hard to keep up with. It's hard to store all the
Because of the radiation.
yeah, and the byproduct is literal
Radiation.
radiation. And it's like, what do we do with it?
Yeah.
And to take into note, a lot of them blew up, like in Japan,
Because of the radiation.
Ukraine.
So
There's one
you know
here
what?
in
We
the
could
United
we could have
States.
left this at because of the radiation. If
Yeah.
only someone said that at the beginning.
Okay, well, now we know that radiation is both good and bad.
Yeah.
Today's episode is brought to you by viewers like you. Thank you.
You over there.
Viewer,
You over there.
You
Yeah,
brought this. Yeah.
Over
This is
there.
your fault.
brought
this
to you
way.
by you.
Yeah.
I
Come here.
mean,
Brought-
we came here for you.
Episode
This
brought
is
to us
all
by
this
you.
is all
Here
because of
for
you.
you.
This is due to you. Thank
And
you.
we want to
Yeah,
say
yeah.
thank you for you
Thank
being
you.
You know what? You want more? Give us a
Just
little bit more
be
money.
you.
Give us
Yeah, yeah.
more money. Thank you.
This is brought to you by
be
you.
Brought to you by you. See if
Marathon
BlackRock
Fusion.
has any footing in Marathon Fusion.
Ooh, that is a very good point.
I mean, their investment company manages the world's largest portfolio of assets
Yeah.
worth 11.5 trillion as of
If you guys don't
2024.
know who BlackRock is one of the three leaders in investment management, with it being Vanguard, Fidelity, and BlackRock. And basically what they do is they buy tons and tons and tons and tons of stock of all sorts of different companies. So they have like, for example, $170 billion worth of stock in Apple. And what you do is you buy basically what's called EFTs and other types of like portfolio stocks from BlackRock, which is a small portion of individual stocks of like, for example, Fortune 500 companies. So you'll get like a sliver of 500 companies, and that's kind of like the stuff that BlackRock does.
They also
Yeah.
have they do issuance of Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Yeah, I have a
Yeah.
little bit of Ethereum. If you guys don't, you should get it. Doge.
They it looks like they don't have there's no evidence of anything between BlackRock and Marathon, but no one has like no one's saying that they're not either.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's possible.
Hmm. Do you think
Um
that BlackRock is like a malevolent company? Do you think that that they're out to like kind of like rule the world a little bit?
I think that they are not, yes and no. I think that they have hit a point where there's so much money in there where they're like, look, if we can just make more money, then we don't really care what happens.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't think that's how it started, but I think that's where it's going.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And so like
And
again, like I was saying, if you guys don't know who BlackRock is, we just explained it. They buy stocks of companies to help you invest on your own. They're like an investment management company.
You can also have a portfolio with them.
Yeah, you can have a portfolio. Like I said, it's pretty simple. You would give them $500, and they give you a small sliver of a bunch of different of successful companies. And then
yeah.
when that gets better, your investments go up. A lot of people have them. I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
Dominic has a portfolio together. I have a
I
small
do.
portfolio through Robinhood, not necessarily through BlackRock, but I have
Yeah.
my own like that I
I don't
put
think
together.
mine's through BlackRock.
They've also created and operates software called Aladdin, which helps the clients manage their
Mhm.
investment
And a lot of people
portfolios.
know it. If you've ever done investing and stuff, you know what Aladdin is.
Yeah.
But
Um,
so go ahead.
you know what they're also involved in, which we talked about last week, is Palantir.
Yeah, BlackRock owns a little
Yeah.
bit of Palantir.
Yes,
So
they do.
I think that's
There's
kind of like where I was headed with it.
yeah, there's kind of like every big thing that we talk about, BlackRock's invested in them.
Mhm. So let's go over a couple of. I have a list of 9 companies that are BlackRock's like biggest investments.
Yeah.
So number one is Apple. Apple is $170.7 billion invested in through
Jesus.
BlackRock. The second is Microsoft. Microsoft has $155 billion invested through BlackRock. The third, Amazon, 62.8 billion. The fourth, Nvidia. Do you know what Nvidia is?
Yes.
Nvidia is an AI company. So they run AI algorithms and they sponsor like different AI. I'm pretty sure Nvidia is the one who does ChatGPT. But they have $51 billion invested in Nvidia, 43.8 billion invested in Google, 32.4 billion invested in Tesla, 35.4 billion invested in United Healthcare, uh 32.4 billion invested in Meta, which is Facebook, and
Yeah.
31.2 billion invested in Johnson and Johnson.
Which these are just their top 9.
These are just the top
And
9. There's a
and these
list.
are all ones that like everyone has heard of,
Yep.
everyone uses.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And a couple of them are like, like Amazon obviously is like goods and services.
Yeah.
Nvidia AI, so that's like everything that goes into like all new algorithms, anything that's your kind of like where everything's AI now. So
Yeah.
Nvidia, Google, $43.8 billion in Google. Google is everything. Google it.
Yeah.
It's become a fucking phrase, dude.
Right?
The one
Nobody
that really
uses
fucked
Ask
with me
Jeeves anymore.
is United Healthcare.
Yeah. I didn't expect that one to be that high up
United
there.
Healthcare and Johnson and Johnson. Like, so not only are they in
Those
social
into the
media,
medical
not
field.
only are they in home goods and other types of like services, they're also in Apple, which is your phone. So like we were talking about with Palantir,
Yeah.
GPS, wearable GPS devices. That's your cell phone.
Yeah.
Nvidia is fucking AI. Google is information. Tesla is like also goods and services. And then yeah, healthcare. So the top 3 things
They're
they're
in
in
everything.
is everything.
Yeah, and Bitcoin. We said that, right?
And Bitcoin,
And
which
they
is
Yeah.
issue Ethereum, Bitcoin.
What makes it scary is that they invest in a lot of different companies, including companies that are in like competition with one another, like
Yeah.
Amazon and Disney, and like other places like that like don't that are kind of like friends, obviously because they fucking promote the same shit, but then also like
I
as
mean,
far as like
they
business
have
goes, yeah, they're like
Microsoft
in
and Apple.
competition with one another. And so basically that means that BlackRock can exercise control over these companies using what's called shareholder voting rights. And basically what that means is that you hold, like remember like Batman Begins or whatever when he's like, well, I bought all of the shares of Wayne Company,
Yeah.
so now I can say what Wayne Company does. That's
Yep.
pretty much like what it is the shareholder voting rights. And that's why people think that BlackRock is behind a bunch of stuff. Um, you know.
Yeah. Which I mean, I'm sure they are to a point.
Yeah.
Like
And
they're and with those kind of companies, I'm sure they're not the ones being like, "Oh, I know the medical part of it. Let's do that." But I'm sure they're the ones like, obviously, if this makes a lot more money, let's do that.
mhm, mhm. And Larry Fink is the guy who owns BlackRock, and he's worth $1.3 billion. Larry Fink,
Jeez.
you know. And I'll give you
Look at
one
even
guess
in those top
as to
nine.
which type of fucking, Do you get it?
Yeah, obviously I get it. I'll let you guess on this
Yeah,
one.
yeah. Maybe he wears a
uh,
nice little round hat on the top of his head.
yeah, like a bowler hat.
Yeah, like
He's
a
a
bowler hat
bowler.
of some sort.
Yeah,
He might
without
be
the brim.
circumcised, honestly. Probably is.
Um, I think it was crazy looking at like those top nine, the difference in how much they've got invested in the top one versus number like seven even.
Yeah, I
Because
know,
what
right?
was the number one was Apple, and what was that? 170 billion or something?
Apple is 170.7 billion.
And then what was number seven?
Seven is United Healthcare with 35 billion.
Yeah, that's 140 billion
Yeah.
difference. That's
But
crazy.
if you
And
think
it's
about
still
it,
the top nine.
yeah, Apple is one of the largest companies in the world right now. So obviously, they're going to have, like we said, they are an investment company. So we're not necessarily saying BlackRock is evil. This is what they do. They find big companies, specifically Fortune 500 companies that are going to be
Yeah.
here for the next 30 to 40 years, and they buy massive amounts of stock in that company. And then they
Yeah.
sell you the stock that they have. So they're not, but that being said, it does give them some kind of grip over it. And so
Yeah, of
when I
course.
was doing some research about BlackRock, I was trying to figure out like what the conspiracy is because the more that I was learning about it, the more that I was kind of like, okay, this is just a fucking investment company. And a lot of people like maybe you're just like not super financially literate and you don't quite understand like what it means to be purchasing EFTs and like what goes into different types of
Yeah.
portfolios and how companies acquire those funds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they make investments on behalf of their customers as well. So maybe somebody will give them like fucking, I don't know, maybe somebody will give them like $100 million and they're like, give me whatever you think is the best investment. So then BlackRock will take that customer's $100 million and start putting it in all sorts of different stuff. But from what I was looking into, the whole conspiracy theory kind of stems from the Occupy movement. Do you remember what the Occupy movement is? Are you old enough to remember that?
No.
Occupy Wall Street.
No?
No, I mean, I've heard it. I don't know
Okay.
exactly
So
what it
that's kind of
is.
the thing. It's fallen into obscurity almost. So
Yeah.
Occupy, it started on September 17th, 2011. Occupy Wall Street, which is a movement meant to advance social and economic justice, like remove the 0.01% from running the economic world is basically what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
And so the movement consisted of people going to Wall Street and camping out and then just like not letting other people come in to trade or just like protesting and just like, making a name for like, hey, these fucking people run everything and we don't like it. And so it started to gain traction. So September 17th, 2011 is when it started. By October 15th, 2011, that's what, 1 month?
Yeah, a month.
1 month, the movement had gone global. Protests staged around the
Dang.
world with thousands of protesters in over 900 cities, including Sydney, Hong Kong, Tokyo, Sao Paulo, Paris, Madrid, Berlin, and Boston. And then obviously much, much more.
Yeah.
And then so the movement's gaining traction. Everybody's like, yeah, fuck the rich, dude. We are all against it. Like, yeah, it's like one of the first movements where people are like actually like, holy shit, this is making some fucking everybody's actually joining in and they're starting to understand all
Yeah.
over the world. So October 15th was the staged movement. October 29th, 2011. By that point, there were 2,300 Occupy protest camps across 2,000 cities worldwide. So
Dang.
2,000 cities all across the world had different fucking campsites where everybody was like, "We're
Yeah.
fucking in it together, people. We're here. We're together." On November 2nd, protesters in Oakland, California, shut down the port of Oakland, the fifth busiest port in the nation. Police established about 3,000 demonstrators were gathered at the port, and 4,500 had marched across the city. However, members of the Occupy movement were quoted by BBC as stating there was more than 30,000 people to take part during that movement
That's
in Oakland.
yeah.
And so what the theory is slowly after it started to gain a lot of traction, there started to be like infighting and like different like disruptions within camps
Yeah.
all across the Occupy movement where people were reporting that like they would alienate other members of the group because they're like, you don't really believe like how we believe. Or like I said, fighting would break out and certain protests and campsites would have to be physically shut down by police because
Yeah,
of like violent outbreakings. And so the theory is that the top 0.01% saw how effective the movement was and they started planting people inside the encampments. And they were like, we want to start like all of this infighting and make it seem silly and like everybody was ill prepared. Um, and there was no like actual centered reason why everybody was protesting. That was the big thing of why it started to fall apart. Is there was no like real like we're doing it for X, Y, and Z. It was kind of like you interview one camp and they're like we're doing it for X, Y, and Z, and then you interview the original camp and we're like no, we were supposed to be doing it for like Z, Y, and X. It wasn't supposed to have been
yeah,
that way.
Well,
yeah.
I mean,
We're
like
at this point, everyone's just like, I don't know, we just don't
It
like the
got
rich
too
people,
big for
but
its
we don't
britches.
really know what's going on.
there has to be a general consensus of corporate greed, or I'd say economic inequality, and the fact that the 1% weren't accurate, like the trickle down effect. That's not real, and I think that was a consensus as well. It's like that doesn't fucking help the little man or me. But I get what you're saying that they try to create conflict.
Yeah, so the theory goes that they inserted people into the
Yeah,
different encampments to incite conflict and to cause it to start falling into more like, oh, these fucking hippies coming out here, camping out, doing drugs, fucking up our city like Seattle and Portland and all that
which
shit.
I'm sure there were camps that's all they were doing. They were like, I don't know, this seems cool. Let's just do it. Because even now,
I
like
knew
when
kids
protests
and
do
people
that,
who were
that's what
like,
happens.
Occupy, let's go. And they just like left, but they weren't anything. They were just like grungy little punk rocker kids who wanted to
Yeah,
go be drunk out in fucking public for 7 days straight and like didn't think anything of it. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
So that's kind
See,
of like
I
what happened. It started falling
I had
apart.
I had always thought of the conspiracy with BlackRock starting when GameStop, because of their involvement with the GameStop.
That's another thing is they think a lot of people think that the BlackRock conspiracy also started like during the GameStop shortage because
Yeah,
they bought a bunch of stock in GameStop and then they shorted it. When it hit its highest point, they just like sold fucking everything basically.
yep,
And it like fucked over a bunch of people. A lot of people lost thousands of dollars, but that's how fucking stocks work. So in case you're wondering,
yeah.
that's exactly how stocks
Which
work. You buy a
also like
shitload of them.
a really good movie that like helped me understand it more was Dumb Money.
Yeah,
You seen that one?
I haven't seen it.
That one is the same guy who plays the Riddler in the Batman.
Hmm.
That guy who plays like the main dude involved with the GameStop stuff.
Yeah.
And just like it explains the entire process from when he first found it to all the way to the end.
Then it was an
Really good
accident.
movie though.
I'm pretty sure he was like, "Yo, GameStop is like going up right now," and then they just like got in on it.
Yeah. Yeah. And then it explains how like he got in. He got in just because he watched it a lot and was like, oh, this looks good. And he got in and then started seeing what was happening and started telling other people and how it just blew up.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
And a lot of people think it was a scam because the way that those things work is they take dying companies and they pump a bunch of money into the dying company, so that way the stock becomes worth like the stock price skyrockets, and then
Yeah.
everybody who's holding tons and tons and tons of the stock, which is just the really really rich people, sell all of their profit of stock when they bought it for like $1.50, and now it's selling for $300, so they
Yep.
make a 300% profit on their stock, and that's like where the whole thing comes in. But that's how fucking stocks work. So
Yeah.
if you
That's
have 100 friends and they all have a lot of money, get them to all invest in a fucking company that's really small. Watch the
yeah.
stock shoot up and then sell your stock. It's called insider trading, but fuck it. Maybe you won't get in trouble.
I mean, politicians are said to have done it where they will have insider information because of their political stance and will sell their stocks before something happens, thus
Yeah.
creating either a profit or not getting that much of a penalty with selling it early. That's why the Stock Act was created in what? The Stock Act was created. I don't know. I have to look that up.
Okay, it's fine. Look that up while we're looking that up. We'll talk. And so
I,
a
I
lot
I
of
got a hot take about that actually.
uh
Um my hot take is I don't think insider trading should be illegal. I like it.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
think
but
if you're
the
better
whole
at
reason
it,
it's illegal is
if
because
you're
it's
better,
unfair. The
Yeah.
stock
it
market's
doesn't
supposed
matter
to be
if
a
you're
fair
better at
market.
it.
Where
Should
me
should
and
we
you
just
could
start to should we
get
just
on
start to
it.
make it illegal to be a good athlete? Like, hey, you're too good at this sport, so you can't play anymore.
Yeah, but it's
But this
illegal to use drugs to become good at that sport. It's basically the same thing. You're finding a sneaky way past like the easy route.
But the Stock Act specifically addresses how people will have a high position in the government or within a certain company. Well, this one, the Stock Act is specifically for congressmen, but they will know insider information like, oh, this company is being penalized for XYZ by the government or whatever the case may be. And I have
Hmm.
stocks in it, so I'm going to sell them before it goes down. So I still have a profit. Like that, I feel like is 100% unfair because it's like, what's going to
What
happen
Dominic is
30 days
saying
from now.
though is like if I owned a company and he owned a company and I was like,
Yeah,
"Hey Dominic, my company's doing really good in the stocks right now, but like I'm about to go bankrupt in like 2 months. So I would recommend that you sell all of your stocks in my company." That's what he's saying. He thinks that that's totally fine. We should be able to do
yeah,
that.
yeah. Because that's just like, all right, I don't want to lose money. No
That's
one
called
does.
insider trading.
That is insider trading also, and I don't think that should be illegal. I think that who cares? It sucks because it does feel unfair sometimes, but
The world's unfair, right? It's a big
yeah,
club. We're not in it. We're
these
not
people are
Jewish, so we're
better
not part of it.
these people are better at doing the stocks than we are. So that's why they make money off it and I don't.
Yeah. And they have a little, I mean, good point, though. Good point, because a little bit of insider trading is a thing. Because it's like, yo, my buddy fucking Tom told me that, like, this stock's about to blow up. Like, let's start buying all this stock. Like, that's how people do tend to get rich in the stock market. So that is
Yeah.
a good point. But at the same time, like, that's technically, I guess, illegal. But I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I mean, think about like even with like crypto of people all the time are telling you like, "Oh, this one's going to go up right now, so you should buy it right now while
Yeah,
it's
it's
low."
true.
Like is that now that
But
that's illegal too?
I guess not now because your friend is just a fucking idiot. Like, remember I told you to buy Doge and then it went up past what you or went down past what you bought it for, and so you ended up losing money on it.
Yeah, I lost a bunch of money off that
Yeah,
one.
I'm like, but I made a bunch of money on Doge, so it's like it
Yeah.
just depends.
But yeah, I mean, see, but that's the same risk that they're taking. What if they say like, "Hey, I am going to go bankrupt," and then all of a sudden, like some guy comes in and he's like, "Hey, I want to buy $5 million worth of stuff right now." Okay, now their company's doing well again,
Yeah,
and you just sold everything, and now you're losing what you could have had. It's
yeah,
the risk
exactly.
that everyone takes. Why is that illegal? I
I
don't think
think
it
what
should be.
makes it
I
more
think the
legal is
government stuff.
it takes away the risk aspect of it because you're losing the whole risk of it because you're getting the insider information where the risk is no longer there because had it been a risk to invest in this company, you may have lost your money. But because you know the future of this company, specifically within the next X, Y, and Z, there's absolutely zero risk from it. So that's where it becomes illegal, I think.
But then why are we treating the stock like it's just like gambling for fun when it's like that's a real company with real people behind it? Why are we not treating it like that rather than just like let's go in and just fuck it? If it works, it works.
I mean, it kind of is being treated like both, right? Like if you're high enough and you have enough fingers in things, you get the inside information, you get the trades.
I mean,
Yeah,
like
As long as you don't get caught, right?
yeah, and
insider
I think that's
transactions
perfectly
occur
fine.
all the time and they are legal. I mean, some of them are legal. It just has to follow the rules set forth by the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission.
Like what are the rules?
You mean like the
Uh,
people who are doing the insider trading?
Yeah, yeah, they had the. I guess there's rules to insider trading. I don't know.
yeah, I mean, like it's just the basic premise of not being able to
Just don't
buy
get
or sell a
caught.
publicly traded company stock based on non-public material
Well, that would
information
be
about
like what
that
I was saying,
company.
where if I told Dominic I was going to sell the company or I'm going to go bankrupt,
Yeah,
Yeah,
that'd be illegal.
that would be illegal. Yeah, because only
yeah, but
you
I
know
think that
that,
shouldn't be illegal
and
because
you
if you're a
are a
public
corporate
company,
insider. You're the director. You're the CEO. And it's non-public, so it's like nobody knows that you're going bankrupt except you, and of course,
but
like your
then they
board.
wouldn't be a public like a public company. You can go in and look at all of that.
And if you were to look at the numbers, you could be like, this company's about
Yeah,
to go
if
bankrupt.
you're smart enough to look at it and see
Right,
that
but
they're going to go
that's a
bankrupt, then why would you
legal.
not?
I think
Yeah,
they have
No,
that's
to.
a
that's
I
legal
just
think they have to
process.
somebody
say
is
though
smarter
out
and willing
loud.
to do more work than I am.
I think the thing is they can't. I can't tell just you. If I were to tell that my
No,
company's going
anyone.
bankrupt, I would have to tell everybody. I would have to be like, "Hey,
Yeah,
this is a public announcement. my company, Pissing in the Wind Productions, is going bankrupt. I wouldn't be able to just call you and be like, hey,
That's
Dominic,
insider
tomorrow
trading.
I'm about to announce that PITW is going bankrupt. So fucking sell all your stock now.
I
Yeah.
think it shouldn't matter. That like that stuff, I don't think it matters.
Life is all about who you know.
Yeah,
So
I think it's fine. I do agree with like the government ones. That one should matter because those people
yeah,
actually
like
have like
politicians
way more,
can't
yeah, like
do insider
way more
trading.
power.
Yeah.
But besides that, I don't think it's a problem for
So you
yeah,
don't.
if
So
you
do you think that that BlackRock being in having their grubby little fingers and all sorts of stuff and doing like what we were just talking about, the shareholder voting rights and turning everything gay and putting a chick in it, just to create infighting in us is like an okay thing?
I wouldn't say that
I
they're doing
think that
the chick and gay thing. Calm down.
so you think chicks can't be gay?
No,
They
but
can.
basically what I'm saying is, the next time that
No,
you're
I
watching a
think
Disney movie and you see that they're pushing the gay agenda, or the next time that they put Sydney Sweeney in jeans and they tell you that she has good genes, is this just fucking BlackRock wanting all the poor people to fight against one another, or are we just looking into it too much?
I think like stuff like that is I think the Disney one is that they're just like pushing like, hey, let's just get people fighting because we get more people talking, so we're gonna make more money. And I think the jeans one is just people being stupid and just like talking about it when yeah, they're just like, hey, this is an actress who's huge right now, obviously very hot. Let's just do an ad with her.
Yeah, yeah.
And then
I
I think
mean,
people just blew that up.
yeah. I mean, but again, if you're too busy hating your neighbor, then you're not busy enough to fight, your corporate big brother who's in there taking the 35% tax money from your fucking paycheck.
Yeah, but then that's where I think it's not going to be a problem because if you just forget about your neighbor and start paying attention to that instead, you could also be there and you could
Okay.
be the people doing that.
Yeah, taking the 35% out of your neighbor's pocket.
Yeah, like just stop paying attention to all this and then you would be what they're doing and the only reason we have it illegal is because you were too lazy or too dumb to like go into it.
Okay.
That's how I think about
But
it.
then if you
That's
just
why I
let
think
insider
insider trading
trading
is
be
fine.
completely legal, but then nobody has then it's not a free market any longer. Then it becomes a closed circle. Because then it's only
But
like these eight people are talking to each other, making these eight people rich, which is technically, I guess, what's happening. But I
yeah,
mean, but it's still, I don't know. I don't know. It's murky water, right? We're swimming through the swamps. In all reality, laws are just in set for poor people. If you're too poor to pay a fine or too poor to fucking bail yourself out of jail, like that's what the law is in place for. If you're rich enough, like nothing really fucking matters.
I mean, to play devil's
that's true.
advocate on that, it is happening now. Like blindly, we are letting it happen and people are getting away with it. And to point out your argument, that's why there's only the 1% that are billionaires, trillionaires, and then there's people like you and me. I'm done.